All right, good. Okay, so I tried to turn it this way, but it won't work. I don't know. So we're going to continue with the Daf Yomi. We're on Yud Ches, and for the Zarah, very interesting. Like always, the Masechus of the Zarah is very interesting. And we spoke about yesterday the trial of Rav Chanina ben Tradian, who was one of the Malchus, one of the holy martyrs of the Jewish people. And so he said that the Romans asked him when they put him on trial, why did he teach Torah? Why did he study Torah? And he said, it's like the Lord my God commanded me, Deuteronomy 4:5. So they said he should be burned, the stake. His wife should be executed as well, and his daughters should have to go live in a brothel. So why did they want to burn him? Shahaya, as Hashem Ba'is Yosef, that he would pronounce God's name as it's written, which you're not allowed to do. Excuse me. So the Gemara asks, how could such a holy man like Rav Chanina ben Tradian do such a horrible sin? The Mishnah in Sanhedrin, very well known, Perek Chelek. The following people don't have a share in the world to come. Someone who doesn't believe that the Torah is from heaven. Someone who doesn't believe that the resurrection of the dead is mentioned in the Torah. The Mishnah has some opposite. Abba Shaul adds, someone who pronounces God's name how it's written according to its letters. So the answer was Lislamed Avid. Avad Kidsan Lisilmad Lazis Avalata Lamed Lahavn Laharis. So he said he did it because he wanted to learn how to use it or how it's pronounced. Different understandings of what it means. There's a brayso that says, when it says in Deuteronomy 18, you're not allowed to learn the abominations of the nations. When it says the word learn, you're not allowed to learn to do what they do, but if you're learning just to learn, to understand and to teach the laws and how to avoid doing these sins, for example, Avodah Zarah here, we study about all different religions, not because we want to practice the religions, but because we want to understand them and teach the laws regarding our interaction within our religion to those of other religions. So we're not learning it to practice the other religion. We're not learning it to convert to the other religion. We're learning it for a reason. And so too, if one learns the Tetragrammaton, how to pronounce it, or how to use it Kabbalistically, mystically, different things, not to do it, but for purpose, that's okay. My time. So if that's so, if he was allowed to do it, if it wasn't a sin, so why is he in trouble? Why was he punished? Excuse me. The answer is because he pronounced God's name publicly, and the other people could misuse it thereby. His wife was sentenced to death because she didn't protest against what he did. She should have said, Rav Chanina, don't do it. She should have nagged him a little bit, right? So we see that anybody who can protest against something that's wrong, and he does it, he's punished for it, as long as there's a possibility that the person's going to listen. Why did the Romans make his daughter go live in the brothel? Miyadiktika v'siyaseh. We're talking about people on a very high level. It says Rabbi Chanina's daughter was once walking, and the great men of Romi, it's not clear whether it's Rome, Italy, or Rome, a city Romi in the Holy Land, or if they were just, in general, they were visiting, whatever it is. And they said, look at how nice this young maiden is walking. So she started to make sure to walk gracefully in a beautiful way. So she was concerned with how they saw her, and she wanted to impress them, and that's why she was punished. So Reish Lakish, the great Baal Tshuva, said that the meaning was written in Psalm 49, verse 6, that the sins of my heels will surround me. He says it means that the sins the person thinks is not a big deal. Like it's like he walks in them, he doesn't think they're important. But also here it's a sin of, even though it's not really a sin, but it was because it was a day of judgment, she was judged very harshly for something that was really quite minor. Meaning this is how the rabbis try to understand the justice of injustice. We see sometimes people, it would seem that someone who doesn't deserve a punishment that they're being given, we ask why do they receive it, and so the rabbis try to justify God. This isn't necessarily something they would say to her, because it would hurt her feelings, and that would be also sinful. But rather to teach that we have to seek justice. And so if, for example, I remember there was a famous case, someone who recently, thank God, was released from prison, but he was given a large prison sentence. And everyone was shocked with, why did he get such a big prison sentence? And other people told me certain things that he did that were problematic, and that perhaps he deserved not for what he was convicted of, but for other things he had done. And so someone was saying, but why are you saying Lashon Hara? And someone else is saying, no, we're showing, and someone, by discussing this, we're showing that there is justice in the world, that God, and so too here with these stories, is saying, why are you speaking Lashon Hara against Rabbi Chanina? Rabbi Chanina ben Trajan, a holy person, we consider him to be one of the holy martyrs, and his wife and daughter, they were holy people. Why should we bring these things up? They're Lashon Hara. And the answer is that we're showing that God is just. And it's difficult, and it's not pleasant to see what happens on a judgment day. Furthermore, how did they react when this happened? Now, this is a lesson, a very difficult lesson. Shashiyatsu shlashtan tzidku aleihem es hadin. When they left the courthouse, they all accepted that God is just, and that they were justly, even though it would seem there was tremendous injustice, that what God had done to them was in fact just. Hu Amar Sir Tamim Palai, he said, what people, everything that they're saying now is what's said after someone loses a family member, God forbid. Shouldn't happen. But he said, Rabbi Chanina, He said that Surah Tamim Pale, he said the verse in Deuteronomy 32:4 that Rock of Ages, his work is perfect, all his ways are just. He recognized what he did wrong. Excuse me, the Heilige Zayda, the Maral Miprag, Schusik Yagan Leno, said that Rabbi Chanina recognized that his sin wasn't something he did. It was an independent, essential wrongdoing. And so, he praised the perfection and the fundamental aspect of God's justice. And also, he referred to him as Hatzur, as the rock, without taking God's name in vain. V'ishtay amra kelamuna ve'navel. His wife said, God is faithful, and he has nothing wrong, he's righteous and fair. Heilige Zayda Maral Miprag says, he says her sin was derivative, that she just didn't protest, but she still declared that God is a fair and judge, and he's right. Bita Amar Gedol Ha'etzav Rabba Lila Asher Inecha Pekuches Kol Darchei B'nei. The daughter said a verse from Jeremiah 32:19. That God is great in counsel and mighty indeed, and his eyes are open. Your eyes are open to all the ways of human beings, to give each person according to his ways and the fruit of his deeds. And it includes her ways, even something so minor that she was punished for. And so she recognized even with walking, she was sinning. And even it was so minor thing, she saw the righteousness of God. So Amar Rabbi, Kama Gedolim Tzadikim Halalu, Sheznam Lahem Shloish Mikroy Shel Tziddik Adin, B'Shas Tziddik Adin. So Rabbi said, look how righteous these three people are. That they, first of all, that they were so well versed in Scripture that they should be able to recite these verses. And at the very time when they're being judged, that's when they were acknowledging the righteousness of God. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I can't imagine being placed into such a difficult situation. But the Heilige Zayda Moral Miprag, he said that shows the spiritual greatness of them, that they were able to quote the Bible and see exactly God's justice. It's very difficult. We ask God for mercy because we deserve much worse than that. Tanu Rabbanim, we have a brisa. K'shchala Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma, halach Rabbi Chanina ben Tradian levakre. This was before Rabbi Chanina ben Tradian went to court. Rabbi Yosef ben Kisma was ill, so Rabbi Chanina ben Tradian went to visit him. Amaloi, Chanina achi. Yedei she'uma zay min hashemayim amlichua shechvivas beiso sarfas eicholav argus chasidav vibdas toivav v'dayin hikayemis. B'yesi said to Chanina, my brother, Chanina, do you know that God decreed, from heaven it was decreed, that this evil nation, the Romans, should occupy us, destroy God's house, the temple, burn his temple, the sanctuary, the holy of holies. He killed his saints. The Romans killed the chassid of the pious saints of God, and destroyed the nobles and the good people. And the Romans are still here. Nishamati alecha shati yoshev v'isik b'Torah. And I heard that you, Rechanina, you're still teaching Torah, even though the Romans said they'll kill you for it. Makal kilis barabim. Not only it's not just you sit by yourself, you teach it publicly. You get together, big congregations, public gatherings, Sefer Torah, and you have a Torah scroll in your lap. So Rabbi Chanina said, God should have mercy on me from heaven. Meaning, even though my life is in danger, I believe that God will protect me. Rabbi Yossi said, I'm talking common sense. You're talking about miracles, and from heaven they're going to have mercy on you. To many malayis refuahis chavas says Sefer Torah b'eish. Yossi said, I'll be amazed if they don't take you and burn you together with your Torah scroll in the fire. So Rabbi Chanina said to Rabbi Yossi, he said, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm taking too much of a chance. But will I still go to heaven? And am I doing such a grave sin by taking my life in danger that I'm going to lose this world and the next world? So Rabbi Yossi said, did you overcome any particular tests or challenges? So Bechanina said, I once mixed up money, which we said before, from Purim, Matanos Levyanim, with regular all-year charity funds, and I gave them out to the poor, and I realized I made a mistake, and I didn't go and try to get restitution and pay it back from the charity fund. I just gave it. And didn't try to say, oh, give me the money back, whatever, and we can. I gave it freely. Marli imkain mechelchi chelki, golchi garali. So Yossi said, oh, so then I see you're really pious. That you didn't go and try to get the money back from, and didn't try to say, oh, I made a mistake, I got to fix it. You just accepted it, you ate it up. You swallowed your pride, then from my portion should be from your portion, and my lot should be from your lot. You're going to be okay. You're really good. Because you were willing to renounce your monetary rights for the benefit of the poor. So Amru lo'hayim nifta Rabbi Yossi ben Kisma. V'alchu kol gadei rami l'kavrei. V'spidu b'hesped gadol. It's not that much later, Rabbi Yossi ben Kisma died. And all the great men of Rome went to bury him. And they made a big eulogy, big funeral for him. Charasim Asula Rabbi Chanim and Trad Yoshev Esek B'Torah Makal Kilis Barabim Sefer Torah Munach LeBecheke V'Vihu V'Korchu B'Sefer Torah Kuba Chavil Zmaras V'Tzis and Menas Ha'or Yusvagim Shal Tzemer. We see how what hypocrisy the Romans had. They went and respected Rabbi Yossi and cruelly murdered Rabbi Chanina. So they found him. He was sitting, studying Torah, and teaching in public, large groups. He had a Torah scroll right in his lap, and they took him. They wrapped him in his Torah scroll. They put vine shoots and bundles all around him and set them on fire. Views Fogem Shel Tzemer, brought wooden sponges, Shroim B'mayim V'nicham Aliboy, soaked them with water, put them on his heart, they shall take to Nishmas Mehera. So he wouldn't die so quickly, they wouldn't have a painful and agonizing death. His father said, the daughter said, Tati, father, how could I see you like this? Amar la Almali Anis Nisrafti Lavadi Hayad Adavar Kashali. Achshav Nisraf a Sefer Torah Imi Mish Bavakish al Boinin Shal Sefer Torah Yavakish al Boini. He said, my daughter, if I was just being burned by myself, it would be one thing. But because the Torah is being burned with me, the same God who's going to seek out justice for this Torah scroll that's being unjustly destroyed and being deprived of the possibility of teaching, that one who will seek retribution for the insult of the Torah will seek out my insult as well and retribute for it. Amar le Talmidav, he was still being burned, and his disciples came, and they said, Rabbi Mata Raya. And they knew that he was already at a near-death experience, and they were asking him, what kind of vision do you see in this near-death experience? He said, the only thing that's being burned is a blank parchment. The letters are flying in the air. They told him, open your mouth and die quickly, and so too your spirit will fly away, and it's only an empty body that's being destroyed. And Rabbi Chanina said, no, let God who gave the soul take it himself. I don't want to commit suicide, even if it means I'm going to suffer more. I'm going to wait and bear the torture. Depends on the situation, but that's how great Rabbi Chanina was. Amalei Klatz Toniri. So the executor is called Klatz Toniri. He said, Rabbi, Yemanim Arba B'Shal Heves, Noitel Svoigim Tzemer Me'al Libcha, Atem Evien El Chaylam Haba. So the executioner felt mercy, and he felt bad for what he was doing. And he said, Rabbi, if I make the flame bigger, and I take away the sponges from you, will make you suffer less, and die more quickly. Will you take me with you to heaven? Amalehain, he said, yes. Shavali, he said, swear it to me. Nishbalei, he swore it. Miad hirva v'shal hevis v'natal svagim shal tzemei al libay yatsa nishmasa mehera. And right away, then the Roman made the flame bigger, took off the sponges, and he died. And Rabbi Chanina died that much quicker. His soul left him. Afu kafatz nafal l'seicha or yatsa paskol v'amar Rabbi Chanina ben Tradian o klatz taniri muzumanan lehein l'chaylam haba. And so then the Roman, he jumped into the flame himself and joined Rabbi Chanina in the martyrdom. And a voice came out from heaven and said, Rabbi Chanina ben Tradian and Klatz Toniri, the executioner, are both ready to go to the next world, to go to heaven. And so once again, the refrain that we heard before, Bacha Rebbe Vamar Yesh Koina Lama B'Shvachas, Yesh Koina Lama B'Chamashanim. When Rebbe heard this, he cried and he said, there's some people who can get to heaven in 1 second, and some who take many, many years of work. Now, Rabbi Chananya ben Tradian had more than one daughter. So, Bruria, the Visu, the Rabbi Meir, Brate, the Rabbi Chananya ben Tradian have. Bruria, who was herself a very scholarly woman, she was the wife of Rabbi Meir. And she was another daughter of Rabbi Chananya ben Tradian. She was already out of the house, so she escaped the fate that her sister had. Amar loy zila b'milsa diasva chasai b'kubishal zainas. She told Reb Meir, her husband, she said, I can't stand it. My sister should have to live in a brothel, in a house of ill repute. Shakal takaba dinare ba'azah. So Reb Meir brought a big amount of coins, gold coins, denarius coins, and he went to the brothel to go buy her. So he said, if she is clean of sin, and nobody committed a sin with her, a miracle is going to happen for her and she'll go free. But if not, she's not going to have a miracle. So what is he going to do? How does he know? Azul nakat nafshi b'chad parasha. So he decided he's going to disguise himself as a Roman horseman. Amrala Hashmi inili. So he went to his sister-in-law and said, I want to be with you. She didn't know it was him. Amrale dashtanana. She said she's on her period. She can't. Amrale misrach na mirsach. He said, I'll wait till you're done. I'll come back in a couple of days. Amrale nefishin tuva ikatuva hachadesh prin minai. She said, "Why do you want me? There's a lot of prettier girls here. What you don't want to be with me." Amar Shmami no lo yavda isura. So he realized that she never submitted to any of the men there. She tells this to all the men. Aval gabi shemedida malay. Azul gabi shemedida malay. Havani hali. She went to the prison guard and said, "Give her to me." Amarle Mustafina mimalchusa. He said, "I'm afraid of the government." Amarle called her Kabedinara. Palga palach ufalga lehavilach. So take these coins, half of them you can bribe the authorities, and half of them will be yours. Marle v'chishal mei mayavid. He said, what about when I run out of the money and I need to pay more bribes? Amrale emalahada meraneni mitzlat. He said, then you should say, my name's Meir. So he said, you should say, God of Meir, answer me, and you're going to be saved. Amarle. So he said to him, Miyem hachika. Now we're on Amud Beis. He said, is that really going to work? Marle hashtachazes havu hanu chalvda havu kachli enshe. So you're going to see there were dogs in the area that would eat people. Shakal kalash dabahu. And Meir took a cloud of dirt, a piece of dirt, and threw it at him. When they were going to come to, so he threw something at them, so they're going to go bite him. So he said, God of Meir, answer me. And the dogs went away. So then the guard understood. So So he handed her over. He was able to buy his sister-in-law back. So eventually, the Roman government heard what happened. As you are askua zakifa. So the guard was going to be hanged for letting go this prisoner. Amar Aloha de Meraneni. So he said, God of Meir, answer me. And the rope kept snapping. Everything they tried to do to hang him just wouldn't work. Achtu Amrulei Maihai. So Roman said, what happened here? Why can't we hang you? The man they could not hang, right? It was a Boris Karloff movie. So he told him the story. So then they engraved a picture of Rabbi Meir on the gates of Rome, or Romi, depends. I'm like called the Chazla for Sufa de Laite. And it was a wanted sign, those like a wanted poster, and they said, if someone sees this, this guy, he has to be arrested. So one day they saw him, they were running after him. Rahad, so he ran away to a brothel, so they would think that's not Reb Meir, because they knew he wouldn't go there. Because he didn't want to rely on a miracle until it was too late. Or some say he saw some food there that was not kosher, and he put his finger in it, and then but instead of sucking on that finger, he sucked on the other finger, so it would look like he's eating the non-kosher food, tasting it, but he really wasn't, also to fool him. And some say Elijah the prophet came and made himself appear like a harlot, and went and hugged him to make it look like, oh, this is my regular client. They would leave him alone. Rebbe Meir hachi. So Roman said, God forbid, that's not Rebbe Meir. He wouldn't have done this. He was still a wanted man, so he went to Bavel. Some say he went to Bavel because of this story, and some say it was because the story with his wife who committed suicide, a horrible story, but we're going to leave that for another time. It's a Gemara in Kedushin, well-known story. Tener Rabbanan. Okay. So we said before that you're not allowed to help the Romans build a stadium. So the rabbis teach in the Brisa, Haholach l'stadid nin charkom, v'roshamas nechashim, v'chabarim, bukyon, mukyon, mulyon, lulian, glorin, salgurin. He said Moshe Vleitzim. Someone went to a stadium or an amphitheater, a circus, whatever, where they have the gladiators fight, or a circle theater, a circus, and he saw their fortune tellers, snake charmers, clowns, jesters. Bukyon and Mukyon is Buko and Makis. These are Roman, stock characters in their comedies, secular games, the Olympics, so forth. Right? He said this is a seat of scorners. He said it's a waste of, it's that at best it's just a waste of time. And the first psalm says you don't go to Moshe Leitzim. You don't sit with scorners. Kim b'soros Hashem cheftzei. Rather, the psalm says one's desire should be in the Torah of the Lord. So at the very least, it's a waste of time. And you should be studying Torah. Now, there could be different arguments with intellectual pursuits, or it's something that's going to cheer you up. And once in a while, a person needs something like that. But the real thing that's going to really cheer you up is Torah. However, minhi holchen und staden ninen mutter mit nation tzevech umatzel. The others say no. You could go to a stadium because you could go and help save a gladiator before he gets killed. Maybe he's a Jew who could, Buvashli is chashiv amayim. As long as you're not counted together with them. You could go to the circus, to help rescue people in a city that's being attacked, as long as you're not going together with attackers. But if you're going to be counted with them, they want to have a number of how many people that you can't do. You think it's going to make people respect you more, whatever. Kasha tzadinan tzadinan kasha karkam karkam. So it seems to be there's a contradiction. Are you allowed to go to these places or you're not? So bishlama karkam karkam lekasha. So as far as the encirclement, the circus, that's not a question. One is where if you're counted with them, then you can't go. But if you're not, you're not. But what about the stadium? Still difficult. Tanoichi, Sanya. So we have a dispute among the rabbis of the Mishnah. There's Tanoim. We have a brisa in Holchen l'Stadinim and Moshe Leitzim. One opinion is that you can't go to the stadium because it's a waste of time. It's a seat of scorners. You see people, a session of jesters. There's no point in it. There's another version, is the Bach says that because it's murder, it's not just about a waste of time, but you're witnessing disgusting bloodshed. Rabbi Nosson matir shnei dvarim, but Rabbi Nosson says you can go to a stadium for two reasons. Maybe you could shout out, you could help rescue someone from being killed there. And others, if you see the guy is definitely dead, you can let his wife know and give testimony that he's actually dead so she can marry someone else. Because if she doesn't know if he's dead or not, she's stuck with him until there's proof that he's dead. So we go further on. You don't go to. The rabbi said in the Bryce, you can't go to a theater or a circus. These are cognate words. Because they're dealing with idolatrous matters. That's why Reb Meir says you're not allowed to. So he said, that's Reb Meir. The sages say actually, if there's an idolatrous issue, then for that reason you're not allowed to go. And if they're not doing anything idolatrous, it's still prohibited because it's a seat of scorners. So my benaya, what difference is it? Amar bichanina misura nasa v'nasan ika benayu. So the different Rabbi Chanina of Surah said that if you're doing business there, then you're allowed if it's not idolatrous, but if it's idolatrous, even for business purpose, you can't go. But you could go, even Moshe Leitzim, if it's for a business purpose. Darish Rabbi Shimon Pazi. Rabbi Shimon Pazi said like this: "My dechsiv." This was his exposition. Was Renashri Shloach with Shaim Derech Time Le'amad Moshe Leitzim LeYashav. He asks, what does it mean? The verse, the beginning of the first psalm says, "Happy is the man who didn't walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor stood in the path of the sinful, nor sat at the seat of scorners." If he didn't go, how could he stand there? And he didn't stand there, how could he sit there? And if he didn't sit with him, when could there be scoffing? Rather means if he goes, he's going to wind up standing there and staying there. And if he stands there, he's going to sit down. And if he sits with them, he's going to also tell jokes and scoff with them. And he said that's what's written, Proverbs 9:12. If you became wise, it was for you gained something for yourself. But if you're scoffing, you're going to sit alone by yourself and bear the consequences. Amr be'elazar. Isaiah 28:22 seems to teach, like Rabbi Elazar says, that whoever scoffs will be punished and suffer, because it says, "Do not scoff, let you have more suffering." That's in Isaiah. Amalahu Rava Abanan. Rava says the rabbis Matusa be'ina minaychu. So that's why Rava would always warn his students, please don't joke around because you could suffer for it. Amar of Katina, particularly if it's hurting someone's feelings. Amar of Katina comes loitzitz miznaisim mismatim shnem moshachiyadeh loitzitzim. Katina said that whoever scoffs will lose income. It says in Hosea that God withdrew his hand from the scoffers. Amr Shimon Lakish, Rish Lakish said, "Kol misloitz is neifel gehinam shneim zed yoya leitz shmaya yisebevers yisadin." Shimon Lakish says scoffers will fall into hell. It says in Proverbs 21:24, the arrogant man, his name is scoffer, and he acts in the fury of willfulness. Vein evra ala gehinam shneim yom evra yimahu. And when it says fury, it means hell. And that's what it says in Zephaniah 1:15. Tzfanya, every Yemahu, the day will be a day of fury, of anger. Amar Rabbi Oshaya. Rabbi Oshaya said, "Kol Yaher Neifel begehinam." Rabbi Oshaya says anyone who's arrogant falls into hell. Shneim zediyot your late shmoyos bever sudden. From the same verse that says the willfully arrogant man, his name is the scoffer, and he in his acts of fear and in his willfulness. And again we say fury means hell, as it says that day will be a day of fury. It's also from Tzfanya. Amar Rabbi Chanilai, Rabbi Tanchem bar Chanilai. Tanchem bar Chanilai said, "Klum sloitz is gerem kloya loylam shneim avatel sloitzatzu pen yachsu ma'isusechem kichalav nechsu shemati." Tanchem bar Chanilai said that anyone who scoffs could destroy the whole world. That's what it says. What we said before in Isaiah, that do not scoff, let you have more afflictions, for total ruin I've heard from the Lord of hosts. Amr Velazar kasha hish tchilasan yisern v'soifa kloya. So Velazar says, look how bad it is to engage in mockery. You start off with affliction, with suffering, and you end off with total ruin. There's Rabbi Shimon Pazi. Rabbi Shimon Pazi expounded like this: "My dechsiv ashri yisha shalei halach." The first psalm says, "Happy is the man who didn't walk in the way of the wicked." Zeh shalei halach l'terchois l'kekresoyis shalei v'tekechavim. This is a man who never went to a theater or circus of pagans, pagan theater or circus. Derech HaTayim, in the Layamad, he didn't stand in the path of the sinful. Zesh Layamad B'Kenigyon. This is someone who never went hunting for sport. Moshe Vleisim Layashav, and didn't sit with the jesters. Shalayashav V'Sachpulos. He didn't sit with all of the antics that they had, the acrobats or things like that. Shalom Yom Adam Hoyel V'Loi Halachti L'Tertois L'Kekresois L'Kenigyon Eilech V'Skara V'Shena. But a person might think, well, I don't go to theaters, I don't go to circus, I don't go hunting, so let me go to sleep. Talmud Loim of Zarah Yegiyim L'Layla. So he said, no, you don't sleep too much. You should rather study the Torah of the Lord, and in His Torah you should meditate day and night. That's what the first psalm concludes. Amar of Shmuel bar Nachmani, Amar b'Yechon Ashri Yisha Shalelach ba'etzes v'Shoyim. It's Avram Avinu. Shmuel bar Nachmani is the name of Yomi, that this verse is talking about Abraham, but we've gone long enough, so we will continue this, God willing, tomorrow. Maybe I might make it today because tomorrow's Friday. We'll see how much time we have. All right. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the best. Thank you.